let's practice converting between mixed numbers and improper fractions. Take for the example 10 and 2/5. That's what we call a mixed number because it has both a whole number and an improper or a proper fraction, in that the number on top is smaller than the number on the bottom. So we have a mixed number. To convert that into an improper fraction, you multiply the denominator by the whole number, so 5 times 10, and then you add on the numerator plus your 2, and the denominator never changes. So this would become 52 over 5. And that is called an improper fraction because the top is bigger than the bottom. And we start off with a mixed number, 10 and 2/5. So the same thing happens no matter how big the number is. 120 and 7/10. Same idea. You would still do 10 times 120. And then you would add to that answer the numerator of 7 and rewrite it as a fraction over 10. So 10 times 120 is 1200 plus 7, so 1207 over 10. And that's another improper fraction. Going backwards requires a little more work. Not difficult, but a little more thinking, I suppose. So let's say we have an improper fraction of 38 over 12. Now, if you know your times tables well, hopefully you do, you would know that 12 goes into 38 3 times, because 3 times 12 is 36. If you didn't know that, you can always take your calculator and divide 38 by 12, and you're going to get 3.166666. That tells you then that it's going to go in 3 times. And there's going to be something left over out of 12. So you go off to this side and you figure, okay, 3 times 12 is 36. So that means what's the remainder? 38 minus 36 must be 2 left over. So you get 3 and 2/12. Well, 3 and 2/12 is a mixed number, but it's not fully reduced because the fraction is, they're both even, which means that you can at least bring them down by a factor of 2. So, of course, 2/12 is the same thing as 1/6 because it reduces to 1/6. If you wanted to do longhand division, which I'm sure wouldn't be high in your fun list, wouldn't be on mine either. 12 goes into 38 3 times. 3 times 12 is 36. Subtract. You get 2 left over. This is your remainder. That's what goes on the top of the fraction. And 3 is your whole number when you set it up as a mixed number. So 3 and 2/12. Do one more of those. So make it a bigger one. If you had 365 over 150. So you do the division in your head. Hopefully you know 150 and 150 is 300. So it's not going to be, it's going to be 2 point something. Check the calculator. 2.433. Repeating. So it goes in a whole number 2. 2 times 150. Use your calculator if you have to. That's 300. So the remainder would be 65. 65 is the remainder. Double check your math. The denominator of 150 times the whole number of 2 is 300 plus 65 is 365. Now this fraction, again, is not ideal because it can also be reduced. So you can do it 2 ways. You can write out all the factors of 65, write out all the factors of 150, break it down that way, or you could just break it up by a couple. Say you did this, the long old crazy way. 5, you know 5 goes into a number that ends in 5. 5 times 13, and 5 goes into this. 30 times. So your answer, when reduced, would be 2 13/30. And that's how you convert back and forth.